Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Royal Instinct. Today we're watching a video by Joe Rogan and Bret Weinstein where they are talking about the ongoing migrant crisis in United States. People from all over the world crossing the Mexican border to get to the United States. But this migrant crisis isn't just in America; it's also here in the UK, in Europe. You have you know African migrants, Middle Eastern migrants, Syria, all trying to enter the Western world. And let's just see what they have to say. My opinion is I'm a product of migration. My parents came from India to live here in the UK. I actually spent 10 years in Germany. My dad went from India to Germany, lived there for 25 years. I lived there for 10 years. And then we came here in England when I was a 10-year-old boy. And, you know, there was a point where migration worked. I think we're at the time where it's not working anymore because there must be a reason why all these people are leaving these countries. What is so bad? I understand, you're leaving your country to go to a place for a better future, for better job opportunities. But the world is so interconnected now. It's like, well, if it's so good over here, why don't we bring that system to where you are, right? Um, do we need to recolonize the world? Do we need to bring back the British Empire? Let's have a look what Bret's got to say.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
You're already seeing a lot of people in the black community that have turned towards Trump because they're seeing what's going on with this immigration and how it's affecting them, and the fact that these people that are coming in.
See, every community only cares about its own self-interest, right? Joe's just saying in America, the black community is turning. They're leaving Biden, right, and voting Trump because Trump advocates for strong borders, right? Because if you have groups from other people from across the world coming in, they're more hungry for jobs. They're going to take all the menial jobs. They're going to outwork you, and then the natives to that country, or the generation that's native, that they're gonna not have any more jobs left. And the thing is it's like, you know they're coming to work for a bit future, but in the near future, in the next 5 to 10 years, is AI will take out most of these jobs anyway, right? Fast food chains won't need to hire any people because they'll have machines doing the cooking, right? That a robot arm will just here give you your food. Food deliveries will be done by AI drones or driverless technology, right? Self-driving cars will come and deliver your food. A drone might come drop you off your burger and shake. You know, these jobs aren't everlasting. It's a small period of time where in history where we still have a chance to fight back, to be independent. And if you understand what's coming, and you haven't thought of a plan yet, I suggest you become famous and a subject matter expert.
That are illegal immigrants are getting so much aid that they're not getting. And they're like, this is fucking crazy. This is our community, and you're having these people come in, you're giving them food and money and shelter, and you won't do it for us, and we've been here forever, and we're Americans. This is crazy. And then there's a lot of people.
I mean, people are already struggling for food and shelter. And what, you think it's going to get better in the future? We've already had. We've lived in the best time in human history ever, and if you look around, it's pretty shit for most people. And with more technology on the way, more advanced technology, AI technology, robot learning, robots controlling robots, AI controlling robots, there isn't any need for human labor anymore, right? There'll still be a few roles left for humans, but they'll be reserved for the elites. And what I suggest for people to do is you need to become famous. Okay, you need to rise to the top, and the way we do it here is find something that you're passionate about, something that is of interest to you, decide to become a subject matter expert in that field, right? It won't feel like work. It won't feel like hard effort, because you'll be genuinely curious about this subject. So you'll spend all your time learning, right? Like 2, 3, 4 months learning about it, reading as many books as you can, many studies, carrying out your own experiments. And after 6 months, when you have a good solid foundation, along this journey, you're documenting it all online, you're making content, you're becoming charismatic, you are building a following, and you slowly are building fame, right? And people look to you as a point of authority. You essentially become someone who's famous, someone who's well respected. And once you achieve that, you can then start making a lot of money. Business opportunities come your way. You can monetize your audience. You can enter elite circles where the types of deals that are done are not open to the public. They're only reserved for leaders and experts and celebrities and famous people. And if you want to penetrate those circles, you have to become someone who's worth knowing. And it's very easy to do, right? It doesn't take hard work, but it takes consistent work. And if you feel like you want that, you want to live the life of an elite, you want to have the best people around you, you want to be friends with a king like me, build your own kingdom, be treated like a king, live that luxury lifestyle, have the hottest women around you, then you need to make that decision that you want to become a subject matter expert. It's the easiest, quickest way to do it, but you only have a small time left to do it, right? Because if AI starts outworking, if AI can produce better content than humans can in terms of the actual insights it gives, then it's over. It's game over. You're already competing with there's a lot of famous people in the world already, right? There's a lot of influencers in the world. If they realize this thing that I'm talking about, it's definitely game over then, right? But most of them are too stupid, most of them too dumb, most of them too lazy to implement what I'm talking about. That's why I'm looking for 100 people who are on the same brainwave length as me, and who see the world how I see it. They understand what's coming. They have leadership capabilities. Um, they want the world to be better for the generations to come, and they feel that they are of royal blood. They see themselves as a king, but they just need some help getting there to the top. And that's where I come in. I want the best for you. I want you to succeed, because I don't want to be at the top there by myself, not knowing who I can trust. But if we battle it out, fight together, and together we conquer and rise to the top, then at least I know that I can trust you, you can trust me, and we'll just be partying at the top, living life, enjoying ourselves, eating caviar, drinking champagne, and all the hottest women. They're naturally going to be dating us, right? So
that, like, even Michael Rappaport, because of the way things are going in the world, is saying that, and he fucking hates Trump, and he talks wild shit about Trump. Even he's saying that first of all, that's not off the table, and that now that's the only solution.
Well, I don't think we're there yet, but I don't think, on the basis of the time he would have, his temperament, or his ability to build a team. Trump is kind of a one-man show, and his team-building ability, I don't think, is enough to solve the problem either.
You have to remember, if Trump was able to elect himself to the top, right, and he's not a subject matter expert in anything, okay, he's just very charismatic and a good public speaker, right? If he had some brains alongside of his public speaking abilities, right, it would be game over. But he doesn't. Okay, public speaking and charisma is easily learned. Okay, it's not difficult. It just takes a little bit of belief in yourself. It takes a little bit of just know how all it is just the ability to feel comfortable in your body, right? And I can help you teach that very quickly. It's not hard, but the journey to being a subject matter expert, right, takes a little bit of effort, right? Because you have to read books, you have to really think about the subject, attack it from different angles. But if it's a subject that you're interested in, you're curious about, and it only has to be one subject, right? There's an infinite number of subjects in the world, but you have to think of one subject, right? And it might be very niche, like say you're a physicist and all you're interested in is how like how the earth rotates around the sun, right? Or you're only interested in the moon, but fuck everything else, just the moon. You can really dive deep into that very quickly. There's all this information out there that you can look into and then concisely put it into a package where it's easily digestible for people, and you can make content along the way about your findings, and very slowly you become the subject matter expert on that field. Joe Rogan will invite you to talk about your findings, right? You write books about your findings, and then because you are now seen as the point of authority, you're naturally now seen as a king. Okay, you'll be making the money of a king. You'll be dating the women that are reserved for kings, right? The hottest models in the world will be yours to pick and choose as you please. And then people like me, other kings, will see you, be like, well, naturally we would be friends. Because who else would you be friends with, right? You ain't gonna be friends with a fucking homeless person, are you? So it's it's the best opportunity, and honestly, if you really think about it, it's the only opportunity left, right? Truly, it's the only opportunity left. It's like what else are you gonna do? You're not gonna invent nothing new. You ain't gonna become the next Mark Zuckerberg, right? You ain't gonna become the next Jeff Bezos. It's over, right? Like all that shit's over. The only thing left is right for you to switch on your camera and start speaking into it, right? But have a charismatic way of presenting the information, have a strategy behind it. Yeah, you need to find other kings who are also building their kingdom, who are on the same page as you, and who also want the best for humanity. You don't want to leave this up to some narcissist, some psychopath who's just doing this just for the sake of power. But you have to penetrate those elite circles. You have to become an elite yourself. If not, you are warned. I guess this is the warning to you that this is where we're heading, and you just thought, nah, that's not for me. So all right, whatever.
But the punchline of that is, if Kennedy can't do it for whatever reason, if politics gets in the way, we still have to get whatever that cabal is out of power immediately. This could not be more of an emergency. We've seen through COVID how dangerous these people are, how little they care about our well-being, and we have to rally around whatever it is that addresses this problem. And
so there he's saying we need to rally, and kick out this cabal of people who are in power, and it looks like they're all people who are some way connected to the World Economic Forum, the big boogeyman Klaus Schwab. What the fuck are they doing over there? What is going on, right? How do we know? We need to be in those circles. We need to find out exactly, all right, like what is really going on behind at these summits in Davos. What the fuck's going on? Okay, they give us a little snippet, and even the snippets that they feed us is like, it's scary. So I can only imagine the intricate details that they're planning behind closed doors. I don't trust them. I don't trust these institutions anymore. Like you said, COVID showed a lot of people what these elites think of us, how they treat us, what they have in store for us in the future. You'll own nothing and be happy. AI is going to take over your jobs. How are you going to earn a living? Is it going to be universal basic income, right? And then what? How are you going to build a social credit system, right? All these questions are like unanswered, and they're literally at our doorstep. Okay, like these things will be a reality in the next few years. If you're not prepared now, right? Like you can kiss your freedom goodbye. I don't know what to tell you, guys. If you value your freedom, if you value your autonomy, if you want to live a good life, right? Like so it's literally right. Like there was different levels before, right? But all that's left in the world is the elites and everyone else. Okay, and the way to penetrate that circle is to become famous, right? And social media gives you that platform to do it. So use social media, become someone that's worth knowing, right? In a subject that you're interested in. Make it as easy as possible for yourself, right? But get the maximum results, right? Minimum effort for maximum results. If you love talking about, you know, the NFL, right? Talk about NFL, right? Doesn't matter what the fuck it is, but just pick something and document your progress, rise to the top, become the central authority in your field, and be the leader that humanity needs, right? It only takes a couple years to do this. If you are inclined to think how I do, if you see the world how I'd see it, you can't trust these leaders, right? They don't have your interest at heart. But the people who watch my shit, they're good people and they want what's best for the world. They see themselves as the injustice that goes on, and they want to correct it, but it won't correct unless you take action. So it's down to you. If you have the balls, if there's nothing else left, guys. Like, what else can I say? There's nothing else left. It's now's the time to do it. The rewards are endless. You'll get all the financial rewards, you get all the social rewards, you have the best dating life, you get all these amazing things that come with it, right? You'll live in a mansion, all these materialistic things, and definitely wear a fucking Rolex, Patek Philippe, whatever your dream is, drive a Lambo, ride in a Rolls Royce. But more than that, do the right thing for humanity, right? Like, no one else is going to come save it. No one's going to save you, your loved ones, your family, your future children are. I mean, like they had Epstein Island, right? Like they can, yeah, if the elites are in control and they have an island like that again, they can come and swoop in your future kids. Like, who knows what they have in plan for us, right? Human farms, organ farms, feeding us bugs. Who the fuck knows? But I don't want to wait and find out. I'd rather fucking, put on my armor and ride into battle than stand by and then just wait to get shafted or penetrated.
And, you know, as much as I'm not a believer that Trump on his own can do the job, I would far prefer him to another standard bearer of that cabal. The cabal is too dangerous. And I say this, as you know, I'm a lifelong Democrat, right? This is my party that I'm telling you cannot be trusted with governance. But that's where we are.
Just think about that. Like, how bad, like this guy's, he's an intellectual, he's a university professor. How bad must things get for you for your whole life to vote against, to be part of the Democratic Party? Then in the last election, saying you can't trust Trump, to do a full U-turn and now be like, Trump is the solution, even though he doesn't trust Trump, right? He's more willing to listen to Trump, to follow Trump, and he doesn't even trust him or like him, his policies, or think he's capable. Yet the opposition that he's a supporter of, right, is such an inferior solution that he can't be part of it, right? And that's the state of play that we're at. Like there are no leaders in the world, right? You can't trust anyone. It's all fake charlatans and politicians saying the right thing, doing the wrong thing, taking backhanders, taking bribes. Everyone's got their own self-interest. It's if we have any chance of surviving the next decade, right, it's going to take strong leaders. It's going to take people who are willing. And even if I don't care how old you are, you might be watching this and you're 60 years old. You're retired. You think this is it. I'm on my way out. Or you might be 18, 15 years old and thinking, I'm so young, I can't do it. It's like, Alexander the Great became Emperor of Macedonia or King of Macedonia at the age of 20. Okay. Colonel Sanders invented KFC in his 60s, right? It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter your background. It doesn't matter if you were a failure your whole life. I myself have failed many times in the last 15, 20 years. I don't really consider myself that much of a success, until I realized that I am a success. The fact that you keep trying is what makes you successful. That never give up attitude. It doesn't matter what happened before, right? It's what, if you feel you have that call to action, it's your destiny to do something great in the world. This is the moment. This is that moment in the film where you decide that I'm going all in. Fuck everything else. All right. Like in Lord of the Rings, you take the ring and you go off on your mission. You in King Arthur, this is the moment where you pull out the sword, right, and attempt to pull out the sword, and then go on to fight victory, and reclaim your chosen empire. This is that moment, and it's going to take strong leaders. It's going to take people who are brave, who might be fearful inside, but still carry on, because they know if they don't, it is game over at that point. So, if you have that, if you feel like it's your destiny, really listen to that voice inside you, and start to build your kingdom and become the leader the world needs.
The border crisis.
Mm-hmm.
So you went and saw the migration. You saw the groups of people that are making their way up through.
Yeah, I was invited. Actually, my son Zach, and I went to Panama in the Darien Gap. So there's a national park there. And ordinarily, people do not cross the Darien Gap. It is a up, crossing our southern border and entering the U.S. The ones who are questioned are claiming political asylum, which is not accurate. So we talked to many, many migrants and come across the Darien Gap, where many of them are not surviving the trek. It's extremely dangerous when we were kids. But there is another migration. There is a migration of Chinese immigrants that
Okay, really listen to this part.
looks different, feels different, and is being housed in a totally separate way in Darien for reasons that are not in any way obvious. Now, I don't know exactly.
So with the current migrations, there's obviously people looking for better lives. They're entering the US to improve their their future, the future of their children, the future of their earning capabilities. But there is this secret war going on with the US and China and the rest of the world, and China wants to be the dominant power in the world. And just this part that he said is very worrying, I would say.
What to make of that. I have hypotheses. There are no more than that. But the Chinese migration is not forthcoming about why it is migrating. It is composed mostly of young military-age men. There are some women present, but it's not 50-50 by
Mostly men.
far. And the international community has arranged separate encampments The Chinese are in many cases traveling a separate way across the Darien Gap. They're skipping some of the worst parts of it, traveling by boat. And as I think I mentioned, they are, when asked where they're from, where they're going, why they're going, they are uninterested in talking. There's a hostility.
So obviously this is just his account of the situation there, but China's not dumb. China has over 1 billion people at its disposal, who are all you know they've got an abundance of resources that they could train up, right? And they're sending, by the looks of it, Chinese people to pose as immigrants to enter the US illegally, and then who knows what the fuck they're doing, right? They enter the US, right? They become US citizens, and then they can do whatever the fuck they want, right? But they still have that allegiance back to communist China. Okay, isn't that not something to be worried about? That your enemies entering your country illegally, right? Like these ain't ex-Mexican farmers and just entering. These are literally the people that you are in a essentially a Cold War at, right? Who openly say that they are wanting to be the world superpower, right? They're saying that it was America, and now it's going to be China, right? And they're entering your country, and the people in charge are allowing this to happen, right? It's very worrying times. It's very, it sounds racist to say it, right? Because you're saying, "Oh no, you're being a xenophobe. You're afraid of someone because of a different background." It's like, well, I don't care like what you look like, but I just want to know what your intentions are. Do you have the best intentions for once you enter this country, or are you trying to corrupt this country? Are you trying to economically corrupt, morally corrupt, financially corrupt? Are you trying to? The other thing is are these criminals, ex-criminals that have escaped? Maybe these people were all imprisoned for violence, for awful crimes, to women or children, and they were like, well, look, we'll give you a chance. You can either go to jail here in China, or you can have a new life in America. But when you go there, you're gonna have to do the same activities you were doing here. Like you don't know, right? This is all hypothetical. You just don't know what the fuck's going on, and they're entering your countries, right? My parents came here to the UK for better working opportunity, to start a life, to start to raise their kids in. We have different ideologies that are entering for different reasons, right? Like are these just ex-criminals entering? Like you don't know, and the problem is like all these immigrants are coming to these native lands, like, right? And the people who are now like me, first, second, third generation of immigrant parents living in this country, we're then automatically grouped back into the immigrant category. Like I'm British, right? Like I'm not. If I was to go to India, although I'm Indian, right? I'm not part of that culture anymore, right? Like my whole life was spent here in the West, 10 years in Germany, and the rest here in the UK. It's like, like where do I fit in that conversation? Right? I can't go to Germany because I have a British passport. It's pretty wild out there. It's crazy to think that we are even having these conversations, but like I said, it's dangerous times that we live in, and to survive you need money, resources, connections, friends, and the best way to get everything, right, all these things to protect yourself, is to become famous, right? Rise to the top, be someone that's worthy of attention, be someone who becomes an authority, and that's when the money flows to you. That's where the opportunities flow to you. That's how you can save yourself, save your loved ones, and lead humanity to a better tomorrow.
To it that I found shocking. Because for one thing, if you imagined folks from almost anywhere in the world were heading to the U.S. because they didn't like the way things were in China, they feared their government, they thought that there was economic opportunity, they would be curious about Americans. These are soon to be their...
Yeah, so it is odd that these people entering the US, but they're not happy to meet US people from the US. They don't want to be part of that culture, but they want to live in that land. What does that sound like? It sounds like an invasion. Okay, and most people, like, we've lived in such comfortable times that if you was to suggest something like this, something nefarious like this, people are like, nah, you're crazy, man, you're crazy. But that is the state of play. I don't want to wait around and find out if shit will hit the fan, right? I'd rather have my private jet waiting for me, right? That, that when the invasion starts, I'm just like, all right, let me protect myself, let me protect my loved ones, right? And then, whoever was on my side, right, who helped support me, right? Those people, then I can bring them back out, right? And then maybe we can go back in and save the rest. Okay. I'm looking for 100 people who are also thinking like me, who want to save themselves, who want to are willing to become the next generation of leaders, who are willing to fight that good fight, and you'll be handsomely rewarded for it. All the money in the world, all the girls in the world, all the status, fame, everything you ever dreamed of, right? All those things will come to you. You'll live an abundant life. But if you want to do right by human civilization, if you think that you can help people, in essence, wake people up, then I suggest you come join me at royalinstinct.com, and we'll see if we can work together, if we can come up with a plan of how to save our world, in essence, our way of life. But yeah, until next time, stay safe,